All right. You guys let me know when it's up on YouTube.
It's up.
We actually doing stuff?
Yeah, it's up.
Yeah, we are not professionals, Sarah. We are. If you're looking for a well polished, we've done this 129 times and we still figure it out every time we do it. So
honestly, it's like I honestly go with the flow.
Yeah,
I'm pretty easygoing with this stuff, and it's always something different or something new, and I'm like, what? I'm good on electronics, so I'll be honest.
You're gonna drive an electric car.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
so,
you realized. I don't know if you realized what you just said.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
no, phones, stuff like that.
yeah, that's
okay.
funny.
Typing.
Yeah, you didn't tell them that when they signed you.
Exactly. No, I meant just phones.
Yeah. Hey guys, did you know that I can't use electronics?
I hate them.
I'm great with an electric race car.
Yeah.
Would that be considered? That would be electronic, huh?
Yeah.
100.
Some would say the ultimate in
Yeah.
electronics.
All right. So we already got the first Muppets reference. It's like Statler. It's like if Statler and Waldorf were on stage. Aren't those the old guys from the Muppets? Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah, you two.
Yeah, it's Matt and I. All right, we're gonna go ahead and kick
I
this.
thought it was a golfer reference.
No, that's the old dudes from the Muppets.
Those are not. They're probably golfers too, though.
I wouldn't doubt it. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Sarah, you ready?
Ready?
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Trailchasers podcast. We are live on YouTube, and we have Sarah Price joining us tonight. Looks like she's sitting in her garage with her side-by-side sitting behind her. How you doing tonight, Sarah?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Thank you
Great.
so much for joining us after a full day of real media interviews. You get to end the day with 3 chuckleheads in a spare bedroom, so I appreciate it.
I couldn't even tell it was a spare bedroom until I saw Matt's, and then I realized it's you three, but individual cameras.
Yeah. So if you
And I see the blinds there.
yeah, this used to be my daughter's room, and we moved her into a different room so that we had a studio. So I appreciate you joining us.
There you go.
Right off the bat, congratulations on signing with Chip Ganassi Racing for the Extreme E Series. I'll be completely honest. I didn't know much about Extreme E until I saw your post and I started digging into it. Tell us about the Extreme E Series and the Chip Ganassi Racing team.
So it's pretty incredible. Extreme E is a brand new off-road series. It's going to be the people who run Formula E now are going to be running this series. So it's a pretty high-profile series. It's going to be, there's tons of TV that are going to be covering it and publicity. But what it is we're traveling to 5 highly impacted areas around the world that are going to be
Hold on, Sarah. We lost you there for a second. You dropped completely out.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
You're good now.
There you go. So you're going to. That's okay. We wing it here. Don't sweat it. So you're going to five countries that have been impacted by climate change. Is that what I heard?
Yep, exactly. And so it's pretty cool. They're 500 horsepower electric vehicles. We're going to be racing door to door. There's going to be a male and female driver on every team.
Oh,
There's
wow.
8 teams to start. We qualify down to, basically one winner. It's a 4-car team at the end, and you race to win. But we're going to have jumps. We're going to have a boost in the middle of the race. It's going to be really interesting. We have our laps we only do 1 lap each in a race. So it's 16 kilometers, which is about 9 miles. And we each get to do that. I don't know the dynamics yet if, the driver change is going to be under time as well, because that's going to be huge strategic play. But, I was lucky enough to get a phone call from Chip Ganassi, and I'm so excited to be a part of such a legendary winning team.
Yeah.
What's the boost that you're referring to? What exactly does that entail?
I don't know yet. I won't know until we go racing, I guess. But I guess they're able to do something from their end, which creates extra power on our side and gives us it's basically I would say NOS.
Yeah, the nitro button.
Can I hook that up to Matt's truck? I want to hook that up to Matt's truck and have the remote control in mine and just be like, boom, and launch him off a cliff or something.
Oh,
boom.
Well, it's not like
horrible
steering control. It's just
Out of curiosity, who's building these electric race trucks?
I don't know the builders. I do know they're being built in France, I believe. The cars should be finished here in the coming months where the teams actually get them. I have yet to driven one or see one in person. We're working it out with the team right now on when I will be able to. So it's looking like a few months out. But yeah, they're pretty stealthily built. I know one of the Hoonigans got to drive one, Ken Block, and from his YouTube, it sounded like he absolutely loved it, and it was very impressive. So,
see, guys, that's the world that she lives in. Where she's like, "Yeah, one of the Hoonigans, Ken Block, that
Ken,
guy, my buddy Ken, buddy Ken was driving one." that's a different world.
I've been a part of the Hoonigans for a long time.
I know.
And they're like family to me, but I still haven't met Ken.
Oh, really?
Oh,
how funny!
No.
How funny!
Hey, Sarah, have you ever
it's kinda
driven?
crazy.
Have you ever driven an electric vehicle?
I've driven one. I never raced one.
Oh, okay. You say you driven one?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never experienced it, but everyone that's ever been in one, even like the slowest Tesla is like the fastest car in the world because it's just like it's instant torque, and then there's no gear. It's just one long gear.
Yeah, isn't it like a new Ferrari too? They have electric power to start you up, so your 0 to 60 is a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it's instant power and it's insane torque just to get off the bat. Which, they have drivers coming from F1, IndyCar, Rally, everywhere. I was the first driver signed by the series, and I come from the off-road world, which I think for what most of these teams are used to. I'm kind of foreign to them. And they're foreign to me too, because I don't know their world that well either. But I think from the off-road side is we're going to excel because we're used to being on loose surfaces and not having traction.
Yeah.
And then especially when you have an instant power vehicle, it's going to be even harder to find traction. So we're going to know how to find it in that loose surfaces,
Yeah, even regardless of the success and experience that you've had so far, which we'll talk about, I have to believe that getting into this type of a vehicle and this type of environment is going to be a whole learning experience for you. It's going to be, I don't want to say starting over, but it's not like going to be, oh, I've done this 100 times. This is going to be new for you. Are you excited about that?
I am. I love new things. I hop on really anything I can race and anything I can do, I just go for it. So I'm excited. I get myself in these situations where sometimes I don't get seat time and I have to learn on the fly. And that's one thing that I'm good at, and I adapt well and I adapt fast. And so I think that's a great strength of mine, and I look forward to using that to hopefully succeed in the series. So I don't think we're going to have a lot of time, to be honest. I don't know, but from the sounds of it or feels of it, that's kind of what I'm getting.
Yeah.
I would think, because there's no engine noise, all of a sudden you're just hauling ass across the desert, just the wind,
Isn't that weird?
or like a Jetsons sound, just that's got to be a trip, right?
They're gonna have to pipe in exhaust noise into their headphones or something to make it sound right.
Right.
But
well, I saw the cars. I actually looked up the series.
Yeah,
crazy.
You did some research,
and
good job.
Thank you. And it looks like something that should be extremely loud. And
yeah, it looks like the biggest badass remote control car you've ever seen,
does.
but there's
It
actually
does.
people inside of
I
it.
agree.
Yeah.
It's super crazy. That's going to be the weirdest thing to drive something you can't hear. You're going to hear the whining and stuff, but you're going to hear the gears. But,
Well,
it was funny. I was talking to someone earlier, and they're like, what about like rocks you hit? You're gonna hear all these things.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not
Yeah,
used to
for sure.
hearing. You're gonna think there's issues.
Well, I'll tell you from my experience, Sarah, and maybe this will help you. You know,
Oh,
when
here
you're
we
driving
go.
a turbocharged 4-cylinder Ford Ranger, where it doesn't have the same sound as a big 6-cylinder engine, you just feel the power underneath you, and that's all you really need to adapt.
I feel sick just listening to that.
What? I mean, look.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she.
I'm sure she
understands.
would rather be in the Ford Ranger than a multi-million-dollar electronic car. But you know, you got to take what you can get. So the how long did it?
Or a V8 stack trophy truck.
Yeah, what about a trophy truck instead?
Well, you know, it's not my 4-cylinder Ford Ranger.
No.
So the how long did the process take for this to play out to get signed by the Chip Ganassi Racing team? Was it like super quick, or has this been in talks for a while?
So I've been talking. You know, I was approached by a few teams, but when I got approached by Chip Ganassi, that was it. You know, I kind of was like, wow, this is really awesome. So it took a while. We were talking for months, and I was learning about it and vice versa. But after we started talking about, you know, real talks with being signed on a contract, we decided we were both the greatest fit for each other after just like 1 or 2 phone conversations. And it was just after that, fine tuning the details, and we were signed. So it's pretty cool because they're connected with people who are connected with me. And we kind of already have this like little family unit, I guess you would say, and people I trust on their side that I've worked with before, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's got to make it an easier transition into, you know, a new intimidating environment, I would think.
Yeah, definitely. And I visited in Indianapolis. I got to see the whole IndyCar, you know, shop and team, and the team manager, Mike Cole, who manages this program. He is absolutely phenomenal. And then Chip himself, you know, he gave me a phone call and a text messages, and he's great himself. And you know, when it comes down to racing for them, they want to go out there and win, and they definitely made that a point. And obviously, I do too. If you give my track record, I don't settle for second. I'll figure out whichever I have to do to get first, some way or another. And so, you know,
let's
work hard.
Let's talk about that. So since we got the business end out of the way, let's talk about some of this. And Matt,
Oh no.
so Matt, I want we're gonna have a.
She just hangs up.
No.
All right,
No, wait a minute. So Matt, as we have this conversation, I want you to keep one thing in perspective. Sarah was born 3 months after you and I graduated high school.
What? You don't have
So
to like,
announce
announce it to everybody.
I want you to think about what she's accomplished in her lifetime, and the fact that we're sitting in my spare bedroom right now.
Look,
like
I'm just lucky to be alive. That's how I feel.
So let's.
You don't know how I've lived.
So Sarah, forgive me if I don't have all of it listed out here, but let's run down some of
you're
this.
good.
So Sarah is a stunt woman for movies, TVs, and commercials. She owns her own business.
I'm kind of a stunt man
She's-
in my truck.
In your Nissan. Professional
Nobody
motocross.
cares, though.
She's won 17 national motocross championships. She's medaled in the X Games. She competed in Terracross, Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame Rising Star Award, Stadium Super Truck Racing, placed 6th at Pikes Peak International Challenge, Trophy Truck Best in
I
the
didn't
Desert.
do that one.
You didn't do that one?
What's Pikes? No, I didn't do Pikes Peak.
Oh, we got to go edit that Wikipedia page. So we'll erase that one.
Someone put that on the Wikipedia?
Yeah, Pikes Peak Challenge. Yeah.
Just keep it.
Oh.
It
Yeah.
sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
right?
not like it was a bad
She
thing.
probably did it. She was like, but whatever. It was a Saturday. I was bored. Trophy truck best in the desert. Rally H de Gazelles. I'm gonna mess that one up.
You did.
She's
Yeah,
been.
I should egg themselves. Yeah, it's a jelly, I guess. It's their top sponsor.
Yep. She's been a commentator for sport for like Ultra 4 and all kinds of other stuff. And now the meat of
Where'd
it.
you get all this?
Wikipedia and cyber stalking. I'm
Yeah.
super good. I'm super good at cyber stalking.
You're good.
So
That's not weird.
no, I'm not not creepy at all,
But
Sarah.
you know, he admits he stalks everybody.
Yeah,
so
don't sweat it.
Don't feel too bad.
So here's the ones that I really want to focus on. First female factory-supported motocross racer for Monster Energy Team.
Yeah.
First female driver to compete in the 2016 Honda Indy Toronto Race Series. First female Score International Baja Iron Woman solo drive the entire race, finishing second in the trophy truck class. And first female racer in the Chip Ganassi racing history. That
Did we miss anything?
Yeah. That's amazing. That is, I mean, just, not to overstate it, all of the accomplishments by itself, but when you look at those last four, those first female things, those are major accomplishments. And I think it's important to state what you have been able to accomplish in a very short period of time with those things. And do you think about that when you go out and do your thing? Do you think about being the first female anything, or are you just being a racer?
I'm just being a racer. I don't think about all that. Like, it's kind of crazy. My parents have this big trophy room in their like bottom story of their house. Like, they live in Canyon Lake where I live, and I don't really keep a lot of trophies at my house, which is kind of funny. But when I go there and I go downstairs, and it's like, you have no idea. It's like overload. And then I'm like, whoa, I did all this? Like, it trips me out, because even I'm like, I forget kind of, because I'm so like just always striving to reach ahead, I guess, and accomplish the goals that are at hand. And I don't really look back too often. Obviously, any mistakes I've made, I try to make those better, but yeah, it's wild. Like, going from my moto days, that was a whole nother like part of my life. I feel like that was 24/7. Like, when you're a motocross athlete, you are working 24/7 because your body is your tool. So like, when it comes to driving cars, of course, you got to be fit, you got to be an athlete. And like, especially when I did the Iron Woman last year.
Oh yeah.
I didn't win the trophy truck class. I won the trophy truck spec class, which was right below trophy truck.
Okay.
Almost same thing, different engines. But yeah, Iron Woman, that whole thing. And, obviously you have to be really fit for that. But then your focus more goes towards, I want to say, business and car setup and making sure all the little things are fine tuned to be able to perform at your highest. But yeah, to get back into the, racing, all these things, it's just kind of, I'm a racer. Like, anything I love to do, if I'm racing, it's where I'm happiest.
Well, with that in mind, what do you think has helped you break through some of those barriers? And again, maybe you didn't set out to do it, but obviously you've had some success in a lot of areas. What would you attribute that to?
I have this thing, I call it a switch. I flip a switch, like that new TikTok, I just flip a switch. But, no, there's this, like, thing, I have this crazy laser focus, and, it's so great for me to succeed. I would say not the best in a personal, just like, get crazy focus. But it's just one of those things, like, when I decide something, it takes a long time to decide to do something. Or did you lose me again?
Yeah, no, you just dropped right back in. Are you saying that once you decide to do something, you're laser focused on it? Well, then lead me through that piece. How do you decide? Obviously you've got opportunities laid out in front of you on a regular basis. How do you decide what thing you're going to attack next?
I take any opportunity I possibly can that makes sense. I obviously always look ahead. This is why it takes so long to usually make decisions on my behalf, because I think about everything possible, like how this can benefit me in the future, how this can benefit my end goal of, wanting to excel more, or vice versa. But once that decision is made, it's like go time. Like, my decision's made. I'm racing Extreme E for Chip Ganassi, and I am fully dedicated to that. And so, I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be more than ready, and it's going to be good. And I know I'll figure it out, whichever way it takes. If I don't get it at first, I will figure out how to get it. When I did the Iron Woman effort, it took me a while to see if I was going to do it. I decided I was going to do it, then there was no stopping me.
And what did that look like? I mean, you talked about being fit. Were you working out every day, a couple times a day, like trying to get that stamina built? Because I have to imagine that doing that would require like triathlete level stamina.
Yeah, I would say it's not when you're racing the trucks, like if you have a scare or something, you might get into a high heart rate, but you're not at a cardio level. At least I'm not. I'm pretty calm in the truck for the most part. It's more or less just brain fade is what I would have been most focused of. And then making sure your body is as in tip top as possible, where stupid things don't happen, like you don't have cramps in like your arm or your leg or something like that. Like,
Yeah,
I've had it to where I had a calf cramp randomly, and it was just because like my foot was positioned in the wrong position too long, and so I had to drive differently. But that was really it. And yeah, it's just things like that to prepare. And it was, I wanted to be as fit as possible, so I was working out and boxing a lot.
Oh wow.
yeah. I think braid fade would hit like the second whoop. I'd be on my phone checking my my text messages.
I suffer from both at the same time: high heart rate and braid fade.
Yeah.
When you have this kind of physique,
You mean high heart rate isn't normal?
yeah.
Like,
When you have this physique, your heart rate is always up. That's just so you know.
I'm like in zone 3, 24/7, dude.
Zone 3. What's zone 3?
It's like
Whatever.
150 plus.
Don't ask me.
Yeah, you'll never see it in your lifetime. Trust me. Wait, when you're a 45-year-old pudgy old man, then you'll know. That's part of life. Did you know your blood pressure's high? Yeah, dude. I'm used to it. Just keep on.
I'd
keep
be
going.
scared if it was low.
Yeah, keep going. So with that though, like the challenges that you're taking on, and some of them are firsts for women, and some of them are just you being a racer. It seems as though you've been able to have success in just about everything you've tackled, right? Is that due to the laser focus, or do you have like a support system around you? What kind of factors play into the success that you've had?
I would definitely say it's a little bit of everything. You know, obviously you got to be surrounded with good people to succeed. You know, that is on the
Hold on, lost you, Sarah.
possibly can, or thinking like, okay, well, if I go in, you know,
Hold on, I can't hear you at all. You broke up again.
yeah. Can you hear me yet?
There you go. You're coming back a little bit.
Can't you boost the signal or something?
It's not on our side.
Do something.
So you were saying it's
I can.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Lose me again?
yeah, I lost you again.
Here, let me try my phone internet really quick. Hotspot.
All
Okay.
right.
It does pretty good.
Yeah, we'll pause. Pause for commercial break.
Yeah.
Through the magic of editing.
Edit point.
Let's see. Where am I? Yeah, it'll be way better, I think. I don't know why the Wi-Fi is not working very well.
Jose has some conspiracy theories about that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Jose
I
will
don't wanna get into that right
going
now.
on that stuff.
Got me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that might be better. This is my phone now.
Okay. Okay. So we were talking about your success, and you said that it's a combination of things. What was that combination of things that helps make you successful?
You know, it's like doing research, being surrounded by people that, you know, are knowledgeable, and vice versa. So like when I decided to do the Iron Woman effort, that was such a big deal to me. So I'll use that one as a reference quite a bit. You know, I called around to anyone I knew that has done that and asked why, you know, this, that. A lot of people thought I was stupid, thought I was committing championship suicide by doing that because we were winning in the championship and I had to win or finish behind a certain person in front of another person in order to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, yet I'm doing this alone and driving, you know, and so it's kind of hard to, you know, make that decision when everyone's like, no, you're in the hunt for the championship, don't you do that, kind of thing. So we went for it and it ended up good. You know, surprisingly, I only made like one major mistake the whole entire race, which is completely insane. Other than that, I just played it pretty smart and just kept a decent pace and we did great. But yeah, I would say it's like I called, let's say Robbie Gordon, I called him. He's a good friend of mine. He's always, you know, obviously keeps me in the stadium super trucks, and he's someone who has a lot of experience down there. So I called him, and he's like, you're young, you can do it. And so he's the crazy one who would tell me yes or no, and he'd be completely blunt. You know, he's not afraid to hurt anyone's feelings. So he said I could, and I was like, you know what, I trust you. So all right, you know, a lot of people were like, not too sure.
well, again, I mean,
like, I'll show you.
Yeah, I was going to say, looking at your track record and what you've accomplished up to that point, I mean, I would go into it with some confidence as well. Like, okay, I'm young, I'm in shape, and you know, obviously not me. I'm not young.
You.
I was never young or in shape. But you know, you probably had a level of confidence. Rounds of shape. Level of confidence going into it, and you know, I mean, that's a major deal, and it's a major accomplishment. The next thing I want to ask you is, when's the last time you were bored?
Oh, I'm always bored.
How is that
What?
possible? Are you kidding?
I know, it's a problem.
How are you? You've done more in your lifetime, and you've done more in the last 3 years than the three of us have done in our lifetime.
I think it's safe to. I can speak for all of us. If we just did one of those things on your list, I think it'd be like, okay, we did it, guys.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm retired.
It's a win.
Oh yeah. And you know what? If I had done one of the things that Sarah was, I would still be talking about it. I'd be like Al Bundy. I'd be like, Al Bundy, remember that time I rode motocross?
No, honestly, that's why I've done so much stuff, because I get bored and I come up with all this stuff to do.
So are you like full of energy all the time?
Yeah. Like, that's why, like, with the Iron Woman thing, it's like, I actually probably saved my team from a lot of headache, because if I got out of that truck, I wouldn't have, like, slept. And so I would have just been like, where's the truck? What's going on? What's it doing? Da-da-da-da-da. You know, they're like, you might as well just stay in the truck. So I just saved them from it.
Wow.
Yeah, I think if we tried to do it, we'd each get like 4 miles, and it'd be like, "Hey, dude, somebody else's turn. I'm done.
It's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot.
I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom.
I'm tired.
out.
That was.
Oh, you have to go to the bathroom? You at least have a catheter. I don't.
Oh,
That's,
They have
you know what,
them so
that does
cold they
sound
don't-
enticing. That sounds.
Actually,
You're
I'm
right.
back in.
Yeah.
I'm back in.
yeah. But Matt wants the catheter for his drive to work and back. He just wants. He's
Yeah,
like,
he
I don't
wants
want
it
to
for everyday
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
Jeez.
That's all. That's all. But I mean, honestly, when you're doing all this racing stuff and you have the business and the Stunt Woman stuff, and how are you finding time to do all of it?
No, it is really hard. Like, that's something I'm learning, you know, especially these last 2 years, I would say, is prioritizing the things that are most important. So, you know, what those are is obviously racing, my business, and stunt work. And I'm trying to keep it at just those things. Like, I always have these ideas like, oh, I need to start this clothing company and this new brand and all this stuff where I'm like, okay.
If you want to start a clothing company, I got 3 models for you right here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I already kind of started on it, but then I put it to the side because I'm like, okay, I need to focus on these 3 things and that's it, and then simplify my life. Like, my boyfriend, you guys might know him. He's Ricky Brabeck. He just won Dakar this year, and he's very good at this, like prioritizing his time. And he's always just like, you just have so much going on. Like, why don't you just like simplify it a little bit? And I'm like, yeah, maybe I should, huh? Now that I have a boyfriend.
No, see,
like,
that's just a ploy. So
Yeah.
you're doing all these things. He just wants more time with you. So he's like, you know, Sarah, that's not a priority. You don't need to do that. Let's snuggle. Let's snuggle on the couch. You don't need to do that. That's all he's trying to do is get more time from you. I'm gonna out him right now.
Yeah, when he's just as busy, so it doesn't work out very well. We're both like, we already played like this year. I'm like, man, you're gonna be at Dakar, and I'm gonna be at Dakar, like the week before you racing Extreme E. I was like, and then you're gonna be in Saudi Arabia. I'm gonna be there the next month. I was like, huh? Yeah, I was like, we're not gonna see each other this year. And he goes, nope. And he goes, at least we'll get a lot of racing in.
Well, I mean, that's got to be an advantage to some extent, is being with someone that understands the lifestyle and understands the priorities. Whereas, you know, if you were in a relationship with someone that didn't have that kind of lifestyle, it might be a little bit harder to balance, I would think.
Yeah, 100%. I think, you know, it's both of our lives. So it's something we have to make time for each other. Like, hey, this weekend, instead of like going here or there with friends to go raise a ride, let's go raise a ride by ourselves or something, you know? and we haven't really done that, but we like to say we try.
So with that, what do you do outside of motorsports for fun? I mean, you get to do all the stuff that we want to do for fun. That's like your job, right? So
your job is our goal.
We hate you. And so when you're like, I want a weekend to myself, or I want a weekend with my boyfriend, what do you do? It's never happened.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, I guess like if anything, it's like whenever there is a free weekend, it's like, okay, I probably need to spend some time with my family or something. And so like I go to the river with them. We live on a lake, so maybe just a boat day. I don't really know. Like anything's fun to me. Like that includes wheels and an engine most likely. Like I like hiking, but
that's way too much
like
work.
Board related, I suck. So I stay away from that stuff most of the time.
I doubt it. I bet she's like, yeah, I suck, and she's doing like flips and like
in the half pipe.
Yeah, in the half pipe. She's like, I suck totally because I didn't win a championship at it.
No, okay, so I'm somewhat decent at everything, right? I can get the hang of it really fast just to do it. But like even mountain biking, I'm not the best mountain biker, and like
how is it? You're a motocross racer. How is that possible?
Makes no sense. I know.
Does that translate at all? The motocross to a mountain bike? Like anything? Is it any relation?
It does. It does a little bit, but
yeah, like, I'm pretty sure I would wreck on a mountain bike too.
Yeah, well, you wreck on a motorcycle or
I
dirt
can't
bike.
keep a motorcycle upright. What makes you think I can keep a mountain bike upright?
Well, we like went out and I was like, I really do suck on a mountain bike, and I don't mountain bike very often. I probably only ever had like 10 or 15 times. And we went out, and I was dying, like going up the hills because I just, I don't do that.
That's 10 or 15 times more than us.
I haven't worked out that hard for so long, like to get my cardio up. And then we came back and we went downhill, and I ended up going over the bars at one point and crashed. And then he went up and rode with his friends, and they were like, he's with these 4-time world championship female rider. And they're like, why don't you bring Sarah? This and that. And I was like, I suck. And he goes, yeah, she really does kind of suck.
Sarah, I'm gonna go riding this weekend. Why don't you have a girls' day? Why don't you go find something else to do? Yeah, you just go have a good weekend. Whatever. That's funny. That's funny. Is there anything else you suck at other than mountain biking and snowboards?
Just getting bored.
Yeah. Let's talk
Probably
about all the things.
Aiming, I can't throw anything. I've had so many shoulder surgeries. Throwing, like I throw something and I try to go right and it go left. That's about it, though. I think everything else I get the hang of.
What were the shoulder surgeries from?
Motocross.
Oh, okay. Just beating yourself up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just I had it's called sublexing, so I actually did dislocate it officially probably 5 times. But sublexing is like where it sits out, like it should be in the joint, but it sits out and it just does this all the time. So then I'd lose my motives once it would pop a little out. And so it just loosened up my ligaments and tore down the bone and all that stuff. So I had to have 2 reconstructions on that one.
Man, at my age, dude, I would be out. I'd be done.
Well, I mean, you have brand new legs pretty much.
No, they're still broken. They still don't work. What else? Any other major injuries or surgeries?
I have a 7-screw plate on this collarbone.
Cool.
Yeah.
Does that give you issues at the airport?
What?
Does that give you issues at the airport?
I thought it would. I always when I first had it, they're like, watch out, you're gonna get at the trouble at the airport and security. And I was waiting for it, and I'm like, it never even bleeds. Nothing. They stopped me for my hair.
She's disappointed that it doesn't even
She's the Terminator. Yeah. She's the Terminator walking through the airport, and they're like, "You're good. Go ahead."
Oh, I don't get it. I was like, how can that not register? They seriously stopped me for my hair tie almost every time. And I'm like, that's nothing.
How funny. That's interesting. So
Right?
shoulder, collarbone, anything else? You said skin grafts?
Yeah, skin grass. Caught myself on fire at a campfire one time.
Oh, come on. You got to have a better
That
story.
sounds like
You
something that would
no,
happen to me.
no.
That sounds like me.
Unacceptable. We're going to edit
Oh,
this.
you were on one of our trips.
Yeah, unacceptable. Unacceptable. We're editing this out. You were running first place in a
No
major
way.
race
That
and
was
you
the best
crashed.
part.
No.
And I crashed and burnt. Yeah, no.
I feel
no,
like I
it
can
actually-
finally relate.
Yeah, you've done
That's
something.
campfire.
You've done something that Sarah's done.
Exactly. Man, you
It
can't
was
jump
my
that pit.
first desert trip away from my parents, too.
Oh,
There you
no.
go.
How old were you?
It was 17. I had gone to Ocotillo Wells, and I was at another camp when I got there. And then I was like, let's start a fire at our camp. And so I got my gas can 5 gallons full.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
And but by that time, one of the guys that came over, he goes, "Oh, let me do that for you." And I was like, "Oh, okay." He took my gas can, he put it on where you would start a fire, but he had drizzled it back to my 5 gas can. And so when he started the fire, the line went to the can like a movie, and then it was fuming around the can, like it didn't hit the gas yet. And I was thinking about riding the next day. So I was kicking dirt on it, hoping it'd put it out. And then all of a sudden it hit the 5 gallons inside and ignited. And I was in Ugg boots, yoga pants. I had a snowboard jacket on and I had gloves.
Top fire protection.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and her stunt woman career was born.
Yeah, and so is that how you got into movies?
She puts that on her resume. She's like, no, I can.
Driving.
Yeah, she puts it on her resume. No, I've totally been on fire
Yeah,
before.
I've been on fire. Oh, you're in.
I don't know if I would take a fire job. I'd be like,
yeah. Traumatized.
I know
Oh,
what that's like. But yeah, so it ignited all over me. And by the way, to all you viewers out there, stop, drop, and roll does not work for any gasoline. So I tried that. I just wasted time, and then I started taking off all my clothes. And I was just like, a good thing I had gloves on. I didn't even realize that because I'm pulling off my yoga pants that are on fire, and my hands didn't get burnt, but I got burnt all the way up to my thighs. And I was just like sitting there, and the smell was so crazy. And then I'm like, whoa, my skin's just hanging off. And everyone came running over because they saw me running around on fire. And I actually toughed it out. I went to the emergency room that night. They didn't know what to do with me in Brawley. And then I went back to the desert and stayed the night because I didn't want my parents to find out. I didn't know how to tell them.
Wow.
And then the next day I went home and told them, I was like, I had an accident.
They didn't
just knew
recognize
my
you?
voice
Yeah,
was
it was like,
bad.
who are you?
Who's this?
we didn't order it well done. We didn't order it. I did something similar. I did something stupid and busted my face open and didn't tell my parents for a day because I thought I'd be able to figure out a way for them to not notice. But my entire lip was ripped open and I needed stitches. So at that point, you have to tell them. That is a really good story, Sarah. That's so campfire advice from Sarah is no yoga pants and gasoline. It's
And
not
maybe
a good.
not 5 gallons of gasoline.
Hearing that story though, doesn't it shock you that hasn't happened to us yet?
Yes.
Like that seems like, how has that not happened to me?
You know how that hasn't happened? I've been sober every time, and I keep you
yeah.
guys in because if I wasn't the sober one, I can count. You know what a Mickey's bomb is, right?
It was a Sobe bomb in the
No,
day.
well, a Sobe bomb or a Mickey's bomb. Have you heard of a Mickey's bomb, Sarah?
What's a Mickey's bomb?
Okay, so
I've heard of a Sobe bomb.
Okay, Sobe bomb is the
See
same
how
thing.
cool I am?
Is
So-
that dirt bike talk? lingo?
Yeah, so kids.
Maybe because Sobe used to be like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Sobe was a big
the
thing.
drink, yeah.
So kids, do not try this at home. But if you,
There's no kids listening.
if
to
you,
What's a Mickey though?
Mickey's the same. Mickey's malt liquor came in the same type of bottle that had the big wide mouth, like the Sobe bottles did. So back in the day, if you would fill a Sobe or a Mickey's with gas and punch a small hole in the lid and set it in the center of a fire, it would heat up to the point where it would finally get enough pressure inside the bottle and it would shoot out the little hole in the cap. And as it shot out the cap, it would catch fire and shoot a geyser 20 feet high in the middle of campsites. And all of the
Good times. Good times.
every one of the desert trips, we'd be sitting there and one of the drunk guys would be like, Sobe bomb, and they'd start making that thing. And I'm like, all right, now I'm on. Now I got to watch. And one year they set it in the campfire and it tipped over right as it went off. And it was shooting a 20-foot flame at all of the trailers. And it wasn't me, but someone ran up and kicked it out of the fire over all the chairs out into the dunes to make sure that everybody's trailer didn't catch on fire. Yeah, don't do that.
Boring.
Don't do that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's my point. Is
No,
I'm
honestly,
sober.
I go to Glamis now or the desert, and I see people like that with like Sobe bombs, or whatever the heck they're doing, and I'm just like, I'm way over there. It's like I stay so far away now of fire. It's like a blessing almost now. But now I think about it, I'm like, I was so naive to fire before, and then until I got burned, like once you get burned, you learn.
Yep.
But now watching everyone else, I'm like, man, how are you not on fire? Like, I don't get it. Like, why did I catch fire and you're not on fire right now?
most of the people I've hung out with over the last 20 years should be dead at some point. Like the dumb things that have occurred out in the desert is amazing that people like Matt are still alive.
Yeah, well, I know how to have a good time. And usually the people around me usually know how to have a good time. That's why we call you. That's why we call you Buzz Killington or the fun police. Yeah, because you're always ruining all of our fun with your safety.
Yeah, safety guy.
That's when you just need a pit bike. You need to have pit bike races. You need fire to pit bike.
No,
I would be dead if I had a pit bike.
That'd be even worse.
I really would be dead.
And I want to go back to, you mentioned that the people in Brawley didn't know what to do with you. So for those of you that aren't
let her go.
For those of you that aren't in Southern California, outside of Ocotillo Wells and Glamis, there's like this small town called Brawley, and it's the only emergency room within driving distance of all of that off-road area.
It's high use too. Certain times of year.
And it's one of those places where you don't want to go. It's the last place on earth that you want to go for emergency service. So just keep that in mind when you're out there.
You know how I'm always.
I went to 3 other emergency rooms after that one when I told my parents, and they all didn't know what to do because my burns were so severe. I had the size of my fist, the blisters.
Oh my!
And so they all were just like, "You need to go to the burn unit." I went to the burn unit in Colton, and they admitted me almost instantly, and then I went straight into surgery.
I can't even imagine
I'm sorry you had to go to. I'm sorry you had to go to Colton.
Yeah, but it makes sense to have a burn unit.
It was crazy. And get this. My parents went on vacation and left me in the hospital.
What?
Yeah, they were like, "Well, okay, you had surgery. You're about to have surgery. You had surgery. You've been healing for a day." And I had to sit there in the room for I don't know, 5 days, just with my leg in a certain position so the skin didn't move. And you know what was funny? Erica, so my navigator who drove with me in a trophy truck spec, she was on your show, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so she was working at that hospital as a nutritionalist.
No
at
way.
That time. Wow. So she could actually come and help me, and then she would bring me in and out because I would have to get at the time before my surgery, I had to get it clean, and they had to scrub the burn. And I would get sick when I take any pain meds. I don't do well on them, and so I would do it in the morning, puke, and then have Erica bring me in and out because I'd be waiting for it because I was so starving. And it was just, she was the only one that visited me while my parents went on vacation.
Well, your parents are probably like, you got into this yourself?
Yeah,
you were able to go back to the desert for 2 days?
Look,
you don't need us.
I've been looking forward to Hawaii for 6 months.
You're not going to ruin this for me.
They went to the river.
Yeah.
Oh, they went to the river?
Yeah.
All right.
I love it.
They had us, my grandparents or something, but they knew I was through surgery and then I was just going to be sitting there doing nothing.
I want to state this one fact, and it might sound horrible, but it is a fact. Your parents left you in Colton and went to the river. That's all. Think about that.
And she made it. And she made it.
You made it. You made it.
Where are you guys based out of?
Well, right now we're in Eastvale. I'm in Eastvale.
Where are you guys based out of?
I'm in Eastvale. Matt's in Fontana, and Jose's in Highland.
So that's my thing is I know I live in Fontana, and I have to punch down at cities that I feel are below me, and I feel that Colton is one of those cities.
Really? Well, I know Hemet. He's got a thing for Hemet. He doesn't like Hemet. I didn't know Colton was on that list.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you never
Well,
know. Like,
I get Hemet. I love
Fred and Greg, are you guys
I live in
listening?
Canyon Lake, so we're all really close.
Yeah, we started making a joke. It was a big thing about Hemet and how San Jacinto is Hemet. So we started the San Jacinto Frontier and Sticker Club just for Matt, so he could try to.
Is it Eastvale? Like Norco?
Yes, we're
No,
north.
Eastvale's
We're
new.
How dare
we're
you.
north of Norco, and we're way classier than that. Come on.
Yeah, East Valians don't associate with the,
We're super high end Riverside County. I don't know what you're talking about.
Got it. I grew up in Riverside, so
Yeah, we are the 951. We're not 909. Just so you know.
look, I'm proud
Is
909.
it 909 gone too? Because I'm 951.
Oh, are you? No,
No,
909.
no,
So
I'm deep in the 909.
yeah, 909ers here. 909ers here. So I love the fact that you're just like, talking about how you broke your body and you burned yourself to death, and like you're like, whatever, my parents left. That's like that's just I love how cool you are about that. But
that's because our parents would do the same
Yeah,
exact
my-
thing.
my-
I'm not being judgmental in that. I'm just saying, my family would be like,
Call
who's
me when you're at the
who's
house.
paying for that? I don't know.
my dad would have said, "Hey, dumbass, put some dirt on it, get back to work." I don't know what
exactly.
you're talking about. I do have a very, very serious question though. So I would like to ask, hypothetically speaking, if someone had a 4-year-old daughter and they wanted that daughter to grow up to be an all-around motorsports badass,
He's gonna start crying right now.
what specifically? Hold on, let me take some notes. What specifically would one do to ensure that a 4-year-old girl could grow up to be a badass? Go ahead.
Buy her a Polaris 170.
Oh,
There you go.
That seems pretty easy.
bam.
That's the
Polaris.
Because I love the Polaris, but also dirt bikes hurt. So starter and 4 wheels first in the 170.
Yeah, I've been wanting to build her like a little go-kart. We get in the car and she likes it when we go fast. She's been really upset about the bumpiness on the roads on like off-roading. So I'm trying to work her out on that. She gets sick, but I want to build her like a little go-kart that she can drive around. She's got one of those little, powered Jeeps that she has fun in. But in all seriousness, like, when you were younger and started racing, were you just given opportunities and you ran with it, or did someone encourage you to go down this path? Like, how did you get from, 6-year-old Sarah to where you're at today?
So when I was 6 years old, I was riding horses. So we moved down a street from a horse stables in Canyon Lake, and I found my way to the horse stables really fast. And then every day when I got home from school, I was there. So like my parents couldn't get me away from there. But then I wanted a horse and I wanted all these things, I got a horse. But then at 8 years old is when I got my first dirt bike, because my brother, he was going to the track and practicing, and my parents didn't know what to do with me with all my energy. So they got me a 50 to go and just do laps on and burn fuel and burn my own energy. And that's all I did. I went on that dirt bike until I ran out of gas. But then, you start stepping up and you start going a little faster and you start hitting bigger jumps. And, it was funny at one point, I always pushed my parents. I always wanted to do these things, but they would always make sure they'd make me take the credit for it. Like, hey, well, if you're going to do this, you better work hard at it. You better do it to your fullest. Like, we're not going to just let you do it. Like, I know you want to, but you got to do it big and work hard. And so I did. But when I went to, I would say like when I started doing supercross stuff, like X Games and training for it, that's when my dad was kind of like, all right, this is cool and everything, but this scares me. So I don't know what to say to you anymore. And he's just like, I just hope you're safe. He goes, if you don't want to hit that jump, no problem. Like it got to that point where like the roles kind of reversed,
Yeah.
where he used to, when I was like small, be like, stop being a baby and like da 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 da. And then now it's like, stay off those dirt bikes. And then now I'm back on a dirt bike actually, which is funny.
Oh, really? You're riding dirt bikes again?
Yeah, I am. I always kind of did, but not really. I would say I got so busy with focusing on the four-wheel stuff that I just, I don't know why. I just didn't make time for it, I guess you would say.
Nothing beats a dirt bike. Dirt bikes are the best.
Yes. There's nothing that compares to a dirt bike, honestly.
I say
totally different feeling.
Almost weekly. I say, because I'm 40, I'm going to be 47 this year, and I'm way out of shape, but I will not sell my dirt bike because once it's gone, I'll never
when
get
I buy
another
mine,
one.
who am I going to ride with?
No,
it is the best. I say it weekly. There's nothing better than barreling down a wash or whatever or Glamis on your dirt bike with a paddle.
Oh yeah, I will agree. Glamis on a dirt bike with a paddle is it's the most fun in the world. It's like being the conductor of your own roller coaster. But I will say that I don't bounce as well as I used to when I was 30, and because I'm a crappy rider, I was bouncing harder more often as I got older and more out of shape. So sold the bike, got rid of it, don't need it. That's just
thank
you. Yeah.
You can't sell your bike. Once you sell your bike, you're done. I didn't ever sell a bike. See, I've always kept a bike, if not a few. But I just recently got the new, so I was more excited about it. And then, being with Ricky, we're riding all the time. And it just motivated me more to get back on the bike, and it feels good. I felt good, but arm pump does exist.
Oh yeah, of course.
But
and you're not riding competitively. You're just riding for fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for fun, and I still stay pretty busy. I do quite a few motorcycle stunt jobs a year, so it's really good just to keep that kind of edge. And then also, it can only help me physically and all around for the racing. I feel like in the cars too.
So what's the stunt thing? What's the drive there? Is it fun? I got to imagine that's fun stuff.
Stunt work is a lot of fun. You do a lot of nothing a lot of the day.
I'm good at that.
You're up.
I'm totally. I can totally do that.
Yeah, so most of the time you're sitting there kind of I didn't really do anything today. And then it's okay, this time it comes, at 5:10, you got to have your stunt done by, 5:20 and a half. Whatever, So it's mostly about being very safe. That's what, I'm hired for. I'm hired there because I have really good motives on a dirt bike. Obviously, my experience in the years of, it's been my life, as well as in the car. I can do what they ask me to do in a very safe way. And that's what Stunts is about, basically. A lot of people come up to me and they're like, but I can send it so big and I can do the biggest stunts. And I was like, exactly not what you want to say to anyone going into the stunt world.
I've always said I'm great. I can wreck stuff and blow stuff up. If someone has to not die, I'm probably not your person, but I can wreck it. How did you get into that? Did someone approach you or did you pursue that?
So when I was kind of figuring out what I was going to do in motocross, basically retired, I guess, is when I got a phone call from a good friend, Andy Bell. He had a friend and he's like, hey, I have a friend that does these big time commercials and they need a girl to ride a motorcycle, or I think it was a scooter. Yeah, it was a scooter. And it's and they need 3 girls and I only know you and my other friend, Jolene. And he's like, are you down for that? And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing anything tomorrow. I'll be out. No big deal.
Was it for a Toyota commercial?
It was for Microsoft.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. I show up and I was like, what's all these trailers for here? And I was like, oh, I have a changing room. I'm like, whoa, my name's on it. And I was like, this is a big deal. I was like, I had no idea. And then I'm sitting there signing my contract, because every stunt job you do a contract, and there's some actors right in front of me, and they're like, and I was with the stunt coordinator who I work with all the time still. And this was in 2013 when I started Stunts. And he's like, read your contract. And I was like, okay, what's this mean, and all this. And then the actor's like, do you do this? And I'm like, do what? And they're like, stunt work. They're like, act or actress. They didn't know I was a stunt person. And I was like, no, I've never done this. He goes, are you serious? We've been working 4 years to get into the union, and you just got yourself into the union.
I was just gonna say, Sarah gets the phone call. What are you doing tomorrow? Do you want to do a stunt in a commercial? We get a phone call. Hey man, can you help me move? Like that's the difference in our lives.
Here's your SAG insurance card.
Yes. Hey, I will pay you to go ride a scooter, or can you help me dig up my backyard? I need some. Like that's my life.
I'm buying pizza,
Yeah.
and I'm there. That's all it takes, though.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. We don't totally different worlds. So 2013, and have you been an active member of SAG since then?
Yeah, ever since then, I did that first job, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can get paid to do this? Like, so you mean my motocross helped me get here to get paid, actually? And I was like, this is a dream come true. Like, oh my gosh. And that still is something I prioritize highly in my life, because that's my main income. I'm so grateful I came into stunts. I can't thank Andy enough, and still to have such great relationship with the first stunt coordinator I ever worked with. Like he's my main man when it comes to the stunt world. And Sean Graham, shout out to you.
How often? How many gigs a year do you do?
It all depends. I would say this last year was definitely my busiest year, and the year before. But it's so up and down. It's very it's so funny. They always say book a vacation and then you get booked for like 5 jobs, So it's really hard, but I still put my racing first. Like Extreme E will come first before stunts. Stunts will probably take second, and then any other racing will take third in my priority list, I guess you would say.
That's awesome.
I'm still hoping that my trash talking of cities will somehow evolve into something great, kind of like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how it would translate.
I believe
but
this is it.
I think
you
you reached it. Yeah,
we sitting in my spare bedroom talking to us is like the peak of what you're going to get out of that. That's you've hit the pinnacle of trash talk.
Achievement
Well,
feels
so
good.
when I move, can I call you guys with beer and pizza and bribe you?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I will definitely be there, and
I
I will definitely eat pizza.
Where are you moving to? It depends on where you're moving to.
Oh, that's true.
Well, okay. So currently I'm selling my house I live in.
Yeah.
But my parents' rental is right next door that I've inhabited the last few years because I've made it into my race shop because it has a way better garage. And so I've always had my mechanics or whoever stay in it, or I've had my friends rent the inside while I keep the garage. And well, now since I'm selling my house, or I'm probably just going to rent it out, I'm going to move into my parents' rental because the garage is the only thing that can accommodate me. My house can't accommodate me. And then I bounce between there and then Ricky's house, and yeah.
And obviously all down in Canyon Lake area?
Yeah, Canyon Lake. They're next door neighbors. Like, my house is on the corner and their house is right next door. Like, we connected the fences at one point.
That's awesome. And you've been a Riverside, Southern California girl your entire life, right?
Yep, I went from Riverside to Canyon Lake.
Wow. How long have you been in Canyon Lake?
Since I was like 6. So
oh wow. So yeah, you're basically your entire life. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even think you have to claim Riverside anymore for that.
Yeah, you can let that go.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Just Canyon
That'd
Lake
make it
forever.
way easier.
Well,
That's like when you have a ticket on your record and you're just waiting for it to fall off.
man,
that is true. And the longer I live in Fontana, it's the longer it's gonna just stick on my record.
it's like a bankruptcy. It's going to take 7 years to get off.
It's up
You're
to
like,
10 now. It's up to 10.
I see that you've got Fontana on your record, Matt. I don't know if we can let you move in here.
And we're not gonna. That's why I had to buy that Nissan. That's the only company that would sell me anything. Fontana. It is. It is what it is.
So what is the other part of your business we talked about briefly is the detailing and repair stuff, right? So tell me a little bit about that piece.
Yeah, so my business, SP Enterprises, we're a mobile touch-up company. And so basically when, before I had the stunt work, I had started this like as a form of income for myself because I didn't know what to do when I wasn't riding a dirt bike, when I was basically at the end of like figuring it out. And so I got some dealerships. I started doing touch-up paint. My whole family's in the automotive paint industry. And so soon enough, 2 of my best friends started working with me and they loved it. And then they branched off and did their own thing. And then now I have 6 girls, and they're all in the extreme sports industry in some way or shape or form in the racing world. and we're in North Carolina, Vegas, soon to be Arizona and California. And I have like 10 more girls on standby, but I'm in the process of like making sure I dial it in properly before I bring on more girls, because I don't want to like be a mess. So
Wow, that's
yeah,
great.
we have a bunch of dealerships we paint cars for.
That's a great, I mean, that's one of those things where like you don't, I would have never thought about as an income opportunity. You know what I mean? But that's real. I mean, all these cars on lots.
I grew up sanding and block sanding cars.
Yeah.
And my dad's been painting cars for 50 years. So.
Yeah. But I mean, that's how did you come up with that idea?
Well, some of my family members already did it,
Okay.
but they never branched off and had other people doing it. So I'm kind of making it, it's basically like they're independent contractors still. I teach them the trick of the trade, and I do all the accounting for them. And then I help them get their foot in the door, get their first accounts, give them all the supplies and basically everything to do it.
Okay.
They just go get the work they want, and I can help them if they want more or whatever the case is. I'm kind of basically like
Franchiser.
it's almost like a franchise, but it's not considered a franchise. It's
Okay.
pretty much the same thing without going down that route, because legally that is just a mess.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I just kept it simple, and I don't tell them where to go or what time to work or anything, so they're not employees either. So I don't even talk to my girls at months at a time. And so I'm like, hey, are you still working? Are you still live? Like,
Checks are coming in. I don't know. She must be doing something.
yeah.
Well, what?
So it's pretty cool.
So you're talking about branching that out, but I mean, is there anything else? You talked about the clothing line. You talked about all these ideas. What other kind of things do you want to do if you had more time?
Man, so if it would go in order, my the clothing company is the next thing, but I gotta figure out how to brand it properly, because it's called Burn Fuel, and
Ooh, that's bad form.
racing, but you can burn fuel in any sort of form of motorsport, right?
Or yoga pants.
Or
Right?
campfires.
Yeah, right? But even, we're burning energy when it comes to electric racing.
Yeah.
So that's a fuel.
Yep.
So it's alternative fuel. And so I can use that whole thing. But I'm looking at how to brand it still, with everything going on, and just kind of see where it goes. But I need to focus on my business a little bit more and get that dialed in with these new girls. And then after that will be that when I have more capacity to do everything 100%, I don't want to like overdo it and then be like here, and here, and not do everything properly. So that's something. I don't know. There's something I want to do. I really want to do like some sort of like foundation maybe, or like a way to give back to people, but make it fun. I don't know what it is, or I've been trying to come up with ideas for years. I came up with a TV show the other day, like idea sort of thing, like to give back. So something like that, I think, would be my next move.
Yeah, in your spare time.
Yeah, in your spare time.
Yeah, my spare time. But I guarantee you something else will come up, and that will it'll be a whole new big thing that happens before then.
Yeah, like you said, the minute you start laying the groundwork for a foundation, you're going to get 16 stunt jobs right in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
you're not going to have time.
Yeah,
to do
or I get called to go race something big and
NASCAR.
like Extreme E.
Oh yeah, and that Extreme E thing. Like I think we've had multiple conversations on the show about electric vehicles. We've done a couple different discussions about it, and I think that there is a future in racing, especially off-road racing, with the electric vehicles, and this is kind of the start of that. I think for those of us that are interested in the future of that, this is going to be really, really fun to race. You said there's going to be like TV shows. Do you have the schedule yet? Do you know where we can watch it or when?
I don't know any of that yet. I do know that Nat Geo is putting something out on it. There's quite a bit of television, actually. You'd have to look on their Extreme E website. They have it all out there. It's a lot of TV from different countries as well. Yeah. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of coverage on it.
Do you need a personal media coverage team that can go with you to some of these sites? I mean, we can do that. We can go to some of these sites if that's what you need.
I know, right? I was even wondering that. But then I think about, okay, we're staying on a ship. So this ship is going to only be able to hold how many people? I'm like, do we even have enough room already?
Everybody's sleeping 3 people to a room.
Right? I wonder
I'm
how
already
it's gonna
I'm already
be.
out, dude. I got motion sickness. I can't think of water.
Yeah, just
if I
wear
think
that
about
out.
floating on water,
What?
I get queasy. I can.
You're kidding me.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's that.
Just
it's
wear that
I have a
bracelet or
history.
whatever. It'll be all
Look,
right.
I don't
By
care
the
if
way,
it
your
what.
dog
I don't-
sick on rough bumps. You should just have her drive then, because when you drive, you don't get sick.
So drive the boat is what you're saying. Just go up to the captain and say, "Look here,
Yeah, you should.
look here, captain. I'm the captain now.
I'm not feeling good. Sarah said I could drive.
That's a good drop, right? I got that.
I got it.
All right.
Easy, Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
right?
we'll see how that works. That works. But I mean, that's the ability to travel around the world, and I mean, you've done a lot of traveling, right? I mean, you've been a bunch of different places to race, and I mean, right?
No, yeah, I know. I've been to Africa. That's the furthest, and like anything crazy like that I've done. Other than that, it's been just Mexico and the States.
Okay.
So and Canada. But yeah, no, nothing like what we're about to set out for. And 5 years ago, you would have asked me what my dream was, and my dream would have been to race around the world. And this is exactly what I'm doing for the most top-notch team I can possibly ever imagine for. So
Well, you seem like the person that when you decide what your dream's going to be 5 years from now, that's probably just going to come to life in 5 years. So let's set the record right now. 5 years from now, Sarah, what's your dream? What are you doing 5 years from now?
okay, you want to know my goals before all this happened?
Yes.
All right, I want to be, and I don't really care about the first female thing, but it ends up being that if I do it. It would be the first female to win a trophy truck race in Baja, or in general anywhere, and first female driver to win Dakar.
Oh.
Awesome. Those seem like really feasible.
Yeah, I was just about to say. Cool.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
let me know when you got that on your calendar. We'll keep an eye out.
All right, that's good.
I thought you were gonna say race a truck on the moon.
Yeah.
How's that?
You never know.
It's going to be an electric
You'll
truck.
get the next phone call.
She's going to race the electric Tesla on the moon.
Elon's gonna give you a
Is
call.
that Elon Musk calling right now?
Yes, Elon Musk is calling right now.
We might be racing spaceships in 5 years. Who knows?
I
But
hope
whatever,
so.
Yeah.
whatever they're racing, I hope I'm racing it.
Well, I don't see it not happening, Sarah. I mean, literally, like going back through, like we talked about earlier, the success you've had over the course of your career, and it's a very young career. I think that whatever you set your mind to, you're going to be able to achieve it, and we are all just watching it happen. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you spending time with us tonight. You've been a lot of fun to talk to, and is there anything else you want to talk about before we give you the rest of your night back?
No, I think it's awesome what you guys are doing. Like, I really enjoyed this. And, sometimes I'm like, wait, I have to do what? For how long? Okay, cool. And then it's like, what do I talk about? What do I say? But this has been so much fun, and you guys have been entertaining as all. So I hope to meet you guys. We're all so close.
Yeah, we're right here. Anytime you need someone to help move or eat pizza or drink your beer or show you how to wreck stuff, like we can show you how to wreck stuff.
Yes.
Anytime you want. But we are anything we could do in the future to help. I mean, we're big fans of yours, watching what you're doing, and thank you so much for spending your evening with us. And after a long day of media, I hope this is the last phone call you have to make, and you can actually relax for the rest of the night.
It is. I think I'm actually going to go get some food, which I'm so excited for right now. Like, it's been like go, 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 and then I've had like weird like 15 minutes or like 40-minute like increments where I can be free, but never like enough to really like get a full like hour or something to get food.
Well, go have dinner. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, and we hope to connect with you sometime soon.
For sure. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna mark that on the recording. And seriously, we're still live, so Matt and Jose, behave yourself. But seriously, thank you, sir. That was so much fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So yeah, we again, if you're looking for real journalism, that's not our shtick.
No. I couldn't even spell journalism.
I was just
but-
gonna say that. Jose. You
Yeah.
stole it from
You know
me.
what word I mess up on? Schedule. I can't spell
Oh,
schedule.
Schedule.
in life,
My
and I
schedule?
always use it.
Yes.
Your schedule.
It's not SHC. Damn it.
No, seriously though, in all honesty, we are real close. We're right up the freeway from you guys, and anything we can do to help, anything you got coming up that you want to, if you got something you want to promote, the clothing line or anything else you got coming up in the future you want to promote, we're here to help, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Really enjoyed talking to you. You brought up Erica. She was a lot of fun to talk to as well. We've had some interaction with her. Are you guys still roommates, or is that all gone now that you're?
No, she moved in with her boyfriend, and I don't think it's Eastvale, but Riverside.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's been busy with her navigation school, and
Yes.
you know, I kind of been busy with this stuff, so we haven't seen each other much, which is kind of weird. It happens.
It happens.
Yep.
It happens. Okay, so logistically, the show will get released Thursday. I will put together an email with some promotional items and stuff. I'll send that to you and Anna probably Wednesday night, just so you know that you've got it. And then,
Awesome.
We'll start the promotion Thursday morning, and we usually promote for a couple days to try to drive listenership to the show. And then if there's anything you want to do to promote, feel free. And I appreciate everything so much.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye or night.
Or both. That works.
Bye.
All right, so we are still on the live feed. I saw that Tim was there, and I
No, Tim was
specifically
killing you.
ignored. I did not look.
Killing you.
I saw him make a comment about riding a horse,
So good.
and
So good.
I haven't even. Let me tell you something. I haven't read any of the comments. Screw you, Tim. I'm going to say right up front. Screw you.
Man.
Crap.
Me and Tim are going to start the Anti-Cody podcast. And it's just going to be great. Oh, so good.
It's gonna be a daily podcast.
If you want, how many, whatever the people want. If the people want it.
Are you going to have my ex-wife on as a guest?
She's gonna host it, dude.
Yeah, if it makes you cry, yeah, dude. Every day. Oh, man.
Okay.
Please go faster, Horsey.
No, I'm not gonna read it.
Don't make me kick you. Oh, man.
All right.
So we're back in the studio.
Yeah, here
so we are back in the studio for the first time in a long time. So this weekend we did the
Some would say the impossible.
we did the impossible. We broke the fourth wall. What's another analogy? We
broke the fourth wall.
Isn't that the fourth dimension or the like?
The
No,
fourth
like behind
wall is
the-
like a
behind the
TV
scenes.
reference.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying
okay.
we did the unthinkable, and we were able to.
I mean, we've gotten 2 companies to make product for
Oh yeah. So somehow
Sipping the spear.
somehow we
baby.
guilted Mountain Hatch into making a hatch for Matt's truck, and then we guilted Icon enough to where they made suspension for Matt's truck, and this weekend we installed the lift kit on Matt's Frontier.
How easy was it? Psh,
You know what? Well,
Piece
okay.
of cake.
It was way easier at your dad's shop being
With the
able to use
lift.
the lift,
And you're
right?
working here.
Okay, so two things. Two things make
And we did it right.
two things. Two things. We had the lift, and we had Casey. because let's be honest, Casey did 80% of the work.
Yes.
Matt did 10% of the work,
You
and
did-
I just filmed.
Yeah.
I got credit for pulling the suspension off one side. Good enough.
Oh, at one point, we'll get to the details, but at one point, Matt couldn't get the spindle off of his side, and he's like hitting it with the hammer, and he's like, oh, let me get a pry bar or something. Casey's all, for what? He's all, I can't get this spindle brake on. Casey grabs the hammer from him and goes, whack, whack, and it comes apart. Like, he just didn't even care.
You just got a bigger hammer, dude.
It's like he didn't care.
It
It almost fell off the lift.
It is amazing having someone work on a vehicle that knows how to work on a vehicle. Like
Well, when your job is to work on vehicles all day, every
Yeah.
day.
and that was the thing. Like, when we do it, we've got an entire garage full of tools, and they end up freaking everywhere.
Yeah.
Casey had one tool bag. He had
Yeah.
one little tool
Yeah.
bag, and he knew everything he needed was in that little tool bag. And so we got to the I have to start off. Matt says, let's meet at my dad's shop at 9 o'clock.
I saw that.
So I get up there.
You believe me?
I get up there a little bit early.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go to 7-Eleven, put gas in the truck, grab something to drink. And I edit that little video of me loading everything up. And I get a message from him. He says, we're running a little bit late. All right, cool, no problem. I just got up here a little bit late. It was 10 o'clock.
You were at the gas station, you said.
It was 10 o'clock when he and Casey rolled up, because apparently
like 9:45.
Apparently there was they were up late having conversations all night long, because my brother stayed at Matt's house.
Oh,
so I'm certain there was some
they were just,
detailed
they
like
were just going over their plan of attack for the
deep
next.
conversation.
He tried to tell me Giancarlo Stanton was one of the best power hitters, and I was like, I agree with you, and we fought about it.
So this was like
2 hours.
This was like you and Joe fighting.
Yeah, probably.
You guys agreed, but for different reasons.
I don't know, dude. I just know how they usually go. I don't remember the specifics. So we were probably fighting about, like, you know what? I do like a 69 Charger. That's an amazing vehicle. Yeah, and you know what else? It's fast. Like, I don't know, just yelling at each other till 1 o'clock in the morning about dumbass shit.
So they get there. We get
times.
the truck up on the lift and tires off, and we like, you know, the front coilovers and rear shocks from Icon were custom built, and there was no installation instructions.
Yeah.
There's no, but
it's just IFS.
it was pretty straightforward, man. It was pretty straightforward. We got the stock shocks and control arm off the front.
How beat up were those things?
Well, for not so bad, except for some jackass drove the truck through mud 100 times and didn't think to clean it before he brought it over. When we were done,
Actually, I did clean it. That was clean.
his dad had to sweep up a 15-pound pile of dirt on the bottom of the floor just from us working on his freaking truck.
Okay, what?
You did it to me too.
I did do
New
it too.
rule, dude. If we have to work on the vehicles, please wash the underside.
All you did was walk around with a camera the
I
whole
know,
time.
but I got dirty. The old stuff came out pretty easy, with the exception of the control arm on the driver's side. There's a bolt that needs to come out of the control arm, and it hits the steering knuckle boot.
Oh, yeah, that was the damage that was taken.
Yeah, so that it was, you know, some of the people said to cut it, but we didn't have an extra one, like the
Cut the bolt.
Cut the bolt, yeah.
Because we cut the boot.
Well, so we couldn't cut the bolt because the control arms that Matt bought didn't come with an extra bolt, right?
They were supposed to.
Yeah, and they didn't have one. So we were like, well, we can't just cut the bolt out. So we start putting our brains to work, and we were like, okay, well, what if we had it kind of pitched so it looks like it would come out this way? And we're like, well, what if you spun the steering wheel? I wonder if it moves that knuckle a little bit to where we can. So Matt climbs himself up into the. We're like, okay, go, and he starts turning it, and the boot just catches the head of the bolt, and it shreds the boot around the.
Was there steering grease coming out of there?
No, there was nothing in there.
No, it's like a dry.
It's a dry. It's a U-joint. It's like a
right.
U-joint. So Matt did wrap a bunch of tape around it to try to put it back together.
I did a really good job with the tape. Even my dad said, dude, you did a really good job with that tape. So I think...
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks. You know what? It's the little things sometimes, you know, and it made me feel warm and fuzzy and loved, you know. So it was almost worth tearing it. So...
he did cry about it though. He did. He was pretty.
Is that
upset.
when the tear a little bit? He's like, oh, those damn allergies.
Yeah, my allergies are kicking up. Where's the Bud Light?
He was upset about it. Mom, my butt. I've been trying not to do it, baby. So,
is that what I sound like?
yeah, most.
Oh,
of the time.
Matt, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were a ventriloquist.
So we got that out, and then we had to cut the upper mount for the control coilovers on the front.
Okay.
Because when the new control arm comes down, it would hit
Oh,
that
so you had to
part.
like notch it a little bit?
Yeah, so it just notch out a piece.
Yeah.
And then if you
That was like the exciting video opportunities, but
yeah,
I think
had
Cody
to,
went to go.
I had
get
to
some,
run and get Loctite, and I come back and I hear
say a latte.
He did. He had to go get a latte.
I had to go get Loctite, and I come back as I get out of the truck. I hear the grinder going and sparks flying, and I'm like, "Why didn't you?
What's happening?
What's happening?" So they were doing that, and we got it all ground down. Matt did a great job, and then if you haven't seen this video yet, it's on Instagram. He was like, we're sitting there working the lift, and right behind us is a cart with a bunch of stuff on it and a single spray can with no wrapper on it. Just a silver spray can with a black lid. And
I sprayed it out, and I'm like, psh, psh. Yeah, it looks like primer.
He grabs it, and he's like, yeah, this is primer. And he shoots the metal on the thing, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, why is it white? He said, because it's primer. Okay. Like 2 minutes later, you're just looking at it, and I went, Matt,
wet.
That's not primer. We hold it up, and his dad's like, yeah, it's insect repellent.
So I ain't got to worry about bugs.
So good.
Living in that area.
And then so that we had to wipe off the insect repellent and then put paint on it to protect it.
I did find some paint in the paint
in
body
the paint and body shop.
Yeah. I would hope so.
And but the other piece was we putting the front coilovers in, so the mounting puck on the top is machined with 6 bolts in it, and it looks like it's machined for multiple applications, and it's just you got to find the right thing. So we put it in like Casey. There's a notch, and Casey was like, I bet this part goes out, and we kind of had a discussion about it. When we went to put it in, he didn't put it that way, and I forget why. And it couldn't fit. Yeah. And we were like, we kept messing with it, taking it down and putting it in and taking it down. And finally, Casey put it the way he thought it was supposed to go the first time. Everything went together right. He's like, we should have just done that.
Would have saved 20 minutes.
Yeah, because we were messing around trying to get it to line up. But once we got the upper control arms went in pretty easy. The front coilovers went in pretty easy. The spindles went back together pretty easy.
Well, it was nice having like that. Whatever that mount or it's like a hijack or whatever.
Yeah,
the transmission jack.
Yeah. So you could compress parts or whatever, or lift something that much easier instead of like putting your shoulder underneath
the ground trying to pivot off the driveway.
Yeah. Dude, hey, Dad, do you have one of those like it's like a giant jack stand and you can spin it and it holds on to heavy things for you? You mean that thing right there? And like literally 3 feet to the right, like yes. All right. Thanks.
Yes, that thing right there.
Thanks,
and
Dad.
I will tell you, having the vehicle up at working height.
Let's lift the truck.
You guys go past the 4 feet?
Yes.
Yes.
We had having the vehicle at working height is freaking amazing.
I bet.
Going back to doing your lift and my lift in the driveway, laying on your back, crawling. Man, I was doing your lift. I was so sore the next day.
Dude,
This was cake. Being up in the air, being able to work on it and see what you're doing.
You were manning the camera most of the time.
And you know what? I was still kind of sore at the end of the day. Like, I was telling Tammy, my arm hurt.
Heavier than it looks.
Well, I had to loosen that one bolt for Casey because he couldn't get it. So I had to do. But I think in the process I pulled a muscle. So the front end went in pretty well. We did have to call Jeremy. We had a little bit of a question, and he walked us through a couple things. We did the rear shocks were the piggyback reservoirs, got those mounted up. The only, I don't want to say issue, the only thing we found was that the, what are those? We were just talking about the spacers.
Bearings or spacers
the spacers that came with the shock didn't fit on the stud, so we had to go to Icon today, and they gave us new spacers that we still have to put in. But other than that, I mean, the shocks look beautiful, and when they went in, everything bolted up easily. Again, even if you had to do it in your driveway, with a floor jack, you could figure it out. You can get it done. It just made it so much easier.
Yeah, for sure.
So Matt, now that your suspension is in and you had the chance to drive it for 2 days, what's your thoughts so far?
So immediately, it's like I've been calling it like it's like memory foam. Like you hit a bump and it just like everything compresses and then just resets like immediately. So when you're going over an overpass and there's like those connections to the bridge, and you're doing like 85 and you hit it and like you're trying to like not lose control and you're barely
white knuckling that
thing. Everybody does that. Well, I've lost a little white knuckling. Like it absorbs the hit or whatever, and then just immediately sets again, and you're right back in control. I haven't really gone off road yet. Yesterday morning we went to Mom and Dad's up in Big Bear. I hit the trailhead at Knickerbocker. I think it's the one we did that
Clark's grade.
Yeah, I ran up that for about a mile. Scared 2 old ladies because it came whipping around a corner. I felt bad, like, oh my God, they're out hiking. here I come, Tokyo drifting around a corner.
Dude,
in my new suspension.
I'm picturing there's these two old ladies. They're 75 years old.
They should have heard me coming.
They're 75 years. They've had a wonderful life.
Yeah.
They're still in good shape. They're fit enough to go hiking. They're going to walk up on a beautiful summer day, and Matt comes whipping around the corner and knocks them both off the cliff.
So I came whipping around, and they like, the look in their eyes was like, I'm surprised they didn't die of heart attacks. And I went, I slowed up really quick and like tried to wave, like, oh, I'm so sorry. And
Probably like damn flatlanders.
yeah. And so then I got another quarter mile or whatever, and I'm like, well, okay. I noticed the wobble in the back because we're missing the spacers. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to push anything. So I turned around and I saw him like, oh no, he's coming back. He's coming back.
Did they dive into a bush?
They practically like had jumped off the trail, did a barrel roll down the hill. But yeah, so immediately on that, it wasn't like it was difficult, but it was definitely rocky. And, there was some oh shit moments like, oh, like I'm coming in too hot.
Yeah.
And, stomping on the brakes in that situation before, I would have had like that rattle or vibration on your brake.
Chatter, yeah.
Yeah. Just like, what are you doing? You idiot, and I wouldn't have slowed down that much. None of that. Like the wheels just stayed planted. And then when I came into some, like a rise or not a berm, but like a whoop, essentially.
Yeah.
It just like hopped right over it. I didn't, I'm used to hitting like the bump stops so many times. I
Dude,
didn't hit any
your
bump stops.
when we had his truck up in the air, the bump stops, like you could see where they're originally welded in as square 90s. The center of the bump stop is indented as far, it can't go any further. It is now, the bump stop is now the frame. There's no bump stop. It's just frame. It's
That's
like,
hilarious.
yeah, he has bottomed out, especially the back end, bottomed that out so hard that it just caved in, and now it's pressed up against the frame.
It's true. We should have taken a photo of that. Well, I guess we still could. I had pride. I'm just full of pride talking about that. That's great. So that was like the biggest thing. Immediate control when you go into like a crazy situation. The control's given back to you, or much quicker. Rides a lot better. I can't wait to get the 33s on it. Get the 33s is going to be even bigger. But it's amazing. It is amazing considering how quickly the kit went in.
Yeah,
it was pretty easy.
Yeah, when you think about the level of performance increase in the vehicle for a fraction of the cost of a vehicle, you know what I mean? Like you take whatever 20, 30 grand.
Well, that's the joke, is we doubled the value.
Yeah. We were just saying when we talked to Jeremy today, we were just saying that he's going to list it now for 40 grand.
Like 40 grand.
it's the one of two Frontiers in the state that have a mountain hatch, and it's got the only Icon suspension.
It's the only mountain hatch that's orange for the.
Yeah, it's the only orange mountain hatch, and it's the only Icon kit. But I got to ride in it today, and it feels great. It feels solid, and I compare it to my truck, and I'm sure yours too. Like you talked about how it's planted, and I think I never really thought of the suspension in that way. To me, the suspension was always the lift, so that you can get more tires on it. But after the experience of the ride and drive, and then having it on my vehicle, the ability to keep your tires on the ground in the choppy stuff is the control, is the traction. It's like you never lose that contact with the ground.
That's what you're buying, is that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that, again, we talk about it a few times now at the hammers in that sand section. I can't maintain that speed because I'm beating the hell out of myself. And, so I'm losing power. I'm not being able to put power to the sand, and it's just, you lose, it's all momentum.
Yep.
You're just blasting over it, power to the ground, like it's nothing.
Yeah, because the wheel never hops off the ground.
Exactly. And then that translated into that hill climb.
Yep.
Like, man, I really had to push, teeth chattering speed in order to catch the momentum to finally go up.
You know what? talking about our tests, right?
Yeah.
That hill climb would be a great place to go test again because
that spot would be just great.
Yeah, because you had to do it 3 times to get up it, right?
Yeah.
And you had to back up and get the make your way over the whoops to try to it'd be amazing to see with the 33s in the Icon how well it was.
Oh yeah, one shot.
For sure. The kit came out great. We're just waiting on the tires. We have had some conversation with Nexon. They're working on getting those set up for us. You've got the Icon alloys that are going to go on it as well.
Very handsome.
They are very handsome. Very handsome. We're excited about that.
There's no scratches or anything on those wheels yet.
They're right out in the garage if you want. Jose and I can.
We can mar them up a little bit.
We'll lay them on the driveway and run them back and forth and scuff them up for you, so they look.
Maybe let my kids we can set them up on their sides and let my kids wing rocks at them or something, just to ding them up a little.
They're going to be too pretty.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that you got that pretty kit on there, and then you're going to have the pretty wheels and tires, you're going to have to clean the inside, dude.
Oh man, my kids aren't old enough to do that yet. And, that's a big thing. It needs to be like detailed because there's dust everywhere.
Yeah. It's. But we need to plan the next trip.
I think it should be back to where the Icon Overland thing was.
Rather than the lava tube run.
Yeah, because there you have diverse you have that hill, you have the long straightaway, the long that long incline up to Chocolate Thunder that we did with Chase and Joe and Mount National, those guys. That's a good one. But even just right along the campsite, there's miles of trail right there.
Yeah, there's the donut run. That's going to be called the donut run from now on. From the camp spot to the Hammertown.
Hammertown, yeah.
That wide open whoop-de-doo sandy section, that's now called the donut run because when we left that morning, that was a fun trip. But we just need to figure out the timing for that 4th of July weekend's coming up.
It's hot or anything in the desert.
Yeah,
right now.
It's too hot. I don't want to camp in that stuff.
No.
Big Bear. There's always Big Bear. We can always do something there. But we will come up with a plan. And I've had a couple people reach out. Joey D said if we do the lava tube run, he wants to join us. So did ZR2 Dave. That's what the other thing when we were having the conversation about getting the Frontier, the Tacoma, and the Ranger. We totally didn't think about ZR2 Dave and the Colorado. Right, all four. That's the four. That's the 4 vehicles you're going to buy.
Yeah,
I mean, if we knew someone with a Honda Ridgeline, we'd invite them too. But those are the 4 vehicles in the segment.
Let's be honest; they're too busy, they're like a knitting class, or they're like weaving baskets or something.
They're at Sprouts.
I thought you were going to say like dating swimsuit models or something because they're so cool.
That's it.
Go to bed, Presley. So once we get that plan, we will figure out a time to get that plan. I would love to do an overnighter where like you said, Jose, there's a mixture of sand, rocks, hill climbs, whatever, and get all of us out there and have a good time. So we just got to figure out timing wise how we're going to make that happen. I don't know if you guys saw it, but did you see my post about Forlow magazine?
Yes,
I did.
we
So
we can quit our jobs now.
Yes, shout out to the guys out at to Rich Klein and out at Forlow magazine. So he had called me up. He told me this was going to happen, but he had called me up and they wrote an article on off-road podcasts and where to go to find them and which ones to listen to and
did they recommend any good ones
and how to download them and all of this stuff with the 4-wheel drive podcast. And he was nice enough to feature us in there, and it's a pretty cool deal, man. I was pretty excited about it and to get all 3 of our names in here, and we were included with the Modern Jeeper Show, the Talent Tank, Conversations with Big Rich, the 4x4 podcast, and us. And that's a pretty good group to be with. And so episode 33, June, July of Forlow magazine, and we talked about this when we interviewed them. Like I've been a subscriber of the magazine for a while, and as much as I love digital stuff. like they still. This is just a quality magazine, and it's still.
I don't like the digital magazine format.
It's not the same. It's not the same, and they've always got good content in here. And I am super. Oh, then that was the other thing. I was like, oh, that's super cool, and I'm flipping through it, and I get a couple pages later, and the Nexon LJ product YJ that my brother helped build is in the same article, the same magazine, 2-3 pages later.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, super cool. And so Don Alexander did a big write-up on the YJ that Casey worked on for Don Alexander and LJ Products, and a lot of cool shots of them cruising around Cougar Buttes. So I thought it was kind of cool that Casey and us are in this magazine. So you can get it at forlowmagazine.com, and you can get a digital subscription.
Yeah, but you know what sucks about digital subscriptions? When a big giant tarantula is coming after you, is that digital subscription going to help you in any way? Probably not. But that nice, heavy quality magazine, thwack.
I thought you were going to say when a big giant something else comes over, you can't take your digital subscription into the bathroom with you.
Oh, no, dude. You have your phone and stuff. Of course. Come on. And good Wi-Fi signal? You're good.
Oh, crap. So that, I mean,
you're demented.
I am. But I mean, again, I really appreciated the opportunity to be in the magazine, and you know that he reached out to us and included us in that group of off-road shows.
Yeah, like who are we? You know?
Yeah. Who are we? We're just a bunch of chuckleheads in a room together. First time.
We just interviewed Sarah Price. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't think her PR company knew.
No,
they had no idea.
It was like a last minute thing.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, there's these
You
chuckleheads.
know what it was is as soon as I saw the announcement that they posted, I jumped on it immediately, like before anybody else, so that I'm like, okay, before they realize that they have better options. I don't want them to know they could get a good show. So
right. A real one,
a real show.
Exactly.
But this is the first time we've recorded in the same room since March.
That's
crazy.
I know.
We sat down. I'm all, is the table like?
Yeah, I was
this
like,
low before. What, did you change it?
No. And this is today's the first day.
Did I get bigger?
You got bigger.
I think so, dude.
Today, looking at the camera,
looking at the camera,
I definitely got
sure.
bigger. Like, oh my God.
You got your COVID 20 on?
Okay.
It's like that saying, you know, the camera adds 10 pounds. How many cameras you got on me?
There's a lot of cameras in here right now, dude.
15 cameras in here?
This is the first day that I've been in the office. I got to work in the office, in the studio today for the last 2 weeks. Tammy started her new job and she works from home.
That's right.
So she took over this as her office for a couple weeks, and then we finally got her set up where she's going to be now in the house. Although her desk showed up today. We talked about this. She ordered this desk. It looked really nice online. Mm-hmm. Her desk, it was supposed to be here last week, and then it was 2 weeks from now, and it finally showed up today, and it clearly got dropped in transit, and the corners all busted up, and you open it. I opened it up, and it's particle board. It's particle board that got It just, she was super bummed about it. So she's
from IKEA, huh?
No, she bought it on Amazon, and it had a lot of good reviews, but it just
during shipping, dude.
Yeah, she's gonna have to get a new desk. We'll figure something else out, but she's in a different room now, and we'll be back here in the studio. So the build of the new studio is probably on hold for a while.
Yeah, because we went from like building a whole production thing to hold off. We're going a different direction. And now we're back to where we started.
So that's my life. Well, I mean, we've had, all honesty, Tammy and I have had 100 conversations about what the next step is. At one point, we talked about moving to a different city to get closer to her work, and then furlough happens, and now she doesn't go there. You know, she doesn't have that work. And then we were going to build a studio on this side of the house because it was a isolated garage. Yeah. And then I thought, well, if we did that, I have no access to the house now, so we were going to put it on that side. You came over, we measured it out. We were going to do it on that side. And then when we started thinking about, I did a full like design and build list, and we started looking at how much money it was going to be.
How many spreadsheets did you put together for that list?
Two for that, and a full set of blueprints.
Kind of disappointed.
Full set of blueprints though, like multi-layer CAD drawing, and
how many sheets?
Had I printed it out,
sheets?
I had A, I had E, I had M sheets, I had
the M sheet is just one grill from like
no. The M sheet was 2 supplies, a return, and an exhaust.
Oh, okay.
We were going to do it right. Jose has no idea what we're talking about. E sheets with high and low voltage on there because I had the data all set up all on a separate layer. So for anybody in construction,
so you had a controls contractor.
I did. So anybody in construction knows what we're talking about. The rest of you guys, you have to figure it out. But so anyways, looking at what the cost was going to be and the benefit, and Tammy kind of wanted to be in a different. She didn't want to be back here in this room. She wanted to be in a different spot anyway. So we're going to play that out. So I think it was just an excuse for her to be able to remodel the bedroom. But that's what we're going to do. So she's temporarily set up there, and we'll be back here for a while. But I do want to do some upgrades. If we're not going to do a full build, I do want to upgrade. We definitely need to get some exhaust in this room and some more ventilation. We need better lighting. Someone made the comment earlier that Matt's all dark and you can barely see him.
I like it that way.
Which I think is better for everybody, let's be honest. But I mean, I definitely think there's some upgrades we could do to this room to change how it appears, and get more use out of it. But I think we've weathered the storm. I think we figured out how to get through. Kudos to you guys for figuring out how to. I knew you were okay, Jose. Matt, kudos to you. Good job for clicking on links and being able to join us every week for the last couple months.
It was hard for me. I didn't give up. I thought about giving up a number of times. Who needs this shit?
That's it. I'm not on the show anymore.
That's it.
Call me when this thing's over. COVID's over.
But
I'm on hiatus.
I figured it out, and good times were still had by all.
All right. So. What's on the docket next? Anything that we have? I mean, 4th of July, I don't know what the plan is for that right now. I mean, I think I know what the plan is for that right now, that there's a day that doesn't involve off-roading for me, and then we'll have to figure out if we can squeeze something in.
It falls on a Saturday, right?
I know.
Honestly, if I'm thinking about, we kind of talked about doing the lava tubes, it's going to be too hot, dude. I don't want to camp out there.
Yeah, anywhere, Razor Road, Mojave, Johnson Valley.
That's like 100 plus.
It's going to be.
I mean, it was 100 when the second day we're out there.
Yeah. It's the only real place we could go in July, August is Big Bear, which is still going to be 90, or Mammoth. Mammoth is going to be 80s.
We go up north to 395.
Maybe a trail run.
Yeah,
Big Bear
day run.
Sorry, it's past my bedtime. It's like 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
What was cool about the Google Meetup call was like once the show was over, I can just walk into my other room.
Yeah, you guys got to drive home now.
I have a 40-minute drive.
That's true. Well, I'm gonna look for things to jump on my way home.
Yeah, isn't like Juan Pollo your like go-to spot after the show?
You bought pizza tonight.
Yeah, but.
I'm still supposed to go to Juan Pollo?
Yeah, you don't mess up the routine. They're expecting you, dude.
they haven't expected me in months.
I was saying they haven't seen him in 4 months.
Yeah, no, I don't even know if they're in business anymore.
Trust me, they're open, dude.
All right, cool. Well, look, we appreciate you guys sticking out as we were figuring out all the remote stuff during the COVID, and seriously, thank you to Sara for joining us tonight. I know she had a full day of media stuff. She had a lot of cool people to talk to. We were the last ones on the list for the day, and she stuck it out as a trooper and had a lot of fun. So continue. We're gonna.
She did.
We had a lot of fun.
Okay, I just thought like
she said she
like
had
one
fun.
of those things. Like
she's
I
in Hollywood,
I talked to my wife. You love it. Like you just tell her like maybe she believes you. Like you love it when I do that.
What I was implying was we had a lot to talking to Sara. I don't know if she had fun at all. She could have been just faking it.
She laughed.
She did a couple times.
So.
But we will keep you guys informed as trail runs come up, and anybody that wants to go hang out with us, we'll try to get better at posting that kind of stuff. Continue, if you don't mind, continue providing subscriptions on YouTube. And
thank you for that.
Thank you.
Hit that like button.
Likes and subscribes.
I thought it was a thumbs up.
Or a thumbs. It's the same thing.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah.
And
did you hit the thumbs up yet?
And we're seeing the.
Matt?
I don't know how to do that.
He doesn't know how to do it. We are seeing increases in our YouTube subscribers, which is great, and the 5-star reviews is great, and it's helping us out. So
we have a new review, but we can.
Oh, we do. Let's do it right now.
Okay, you want to do it right now?
Do it.
All right, this one's from Shadow44.
I like him already.
How do you know it's a him?
I said him.
Like him. I like him.
I like him.
It's titled "Good Diversion from Reality."
Oh, no.
It's a 5-star, so thank you. And
okay.
It reads: These guys put out a good, lighthearted podcast. Cody, Jose, Matt have good chemistry between them. Makes listening pretty easy. The pod is a good diversion from reality that mixes in a dose of tech and industry info along the way. Is he listening to us?
I'll take pretty easy. I'll take listening to them isn't the worst thing.
He don't listen to that show for me, dude. I'll tell you that.
I'll take a 5-star review that's like, I've listened to the show. It doesn't make my ears bleed.
It's
so
good. I recommend.
Yeah, recommended. Good podcast. Good.
No,
funny guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shadow 44.
Yep.
Appreciate that. And Matt is still waiting for your phone calls on love advice. We're still waiting to get
for life advice.
Life advice, financial advice. 951-394-DIRT.
Yeah, I'll give you advice on anything. Like, I got it. Hold on, I just started going down. Yeah, I know. I caught myself. I caught myself. But, if you leave a message, I might listen to it before the show and then, actually have decent advice. Or we can just wing it.
We'll just wing it.
Just wing it.
That's the best.
So call our voicemail line, 951-394-DIRT, which is 951-394-3478. Leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show. And if you have any questions, you can find out any information you need about us at trailchasers.net. And you can email us at thetrailchasers@gmail.com or Cody at trailchasers.net, Jose at trailchasers.net, and Matt at trailchasers.net.
Yeah, I'm not doing the Twitter thing anymore.
Oh, no?
No?
Yeah, I don't even know how to log that one in.
Dude, I've been trying to find you since you created that thing, and I can't find your Twitter handle.
You had like 2 or 3 days.
I had to reset his password today so he could get to his Trailchaser email.
Well, because you asked me to log in on a different computer, so that meant I had to remember what
when
my
you
password
said,
is.
"Hey, just log into this computer," there was a fuse that blew in his head. It's just like,
exactly. That's not my computer.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. Like I know somebody else's password. I'm gonna get into their computer.
Yeah, but what's the password on the computer? No, it's your password.
Yeah.
What?
That was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. All right, cool. Well, thanks, guys, for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it. And go download the show when it comes out on Thursdays, and we will talk to you next week.
Later.
That's funny.
Okay, we're still live. We're going to stop the recording now. Who do we have in the live show other than Tim? Because I don't care. Excuse me. All right, so it looks like we had Perry G, Jeremy was in there, Justin. I don't know if you're still there. Jeremy's saying that the audio was 2 seconds faster on YouTube. Mud Raider, what's up? Casey was in for a little bit. Crafter, TF974.
Nissan Nation was in there for a little bit.
Duty Driven.
Yep.
Casey. Yeah, I think you need to add Casey to your anti-Cody podcast because I think he was jumping in on some of that, wasn't he?
Probably. Yeah. He's got good stuff on you.
Okay, guys. Well, we are done for the night on the live feed. We're going to end the stream here. Joey was in there too. Tim. Thank you guys for joining. We love it. And I honestly,
this is like a romper room.
Yeah.
Where you look in the mirror, I see Michael and I
Billy.
see
No,
nobody gets that.
I do. And I specifically didn't.
We are old.
I know. I
don't even know what
specifically
that is.
didn't read the comments while I was while I was in.
Oh, dude.
No, because I
So
knew it
good.
would wreck me. I knew I wouldn't be able to. I knew
man.
it would totally throw me off, and I wanted to be paying attention. So
Kudos. I like kudos to Tim for a good one about.
I saw something about that. Can you imagine? What do you say? Can you imagine Cody riding a horse?
Please run faster, horsey. I don't want to have to kick you. It still makes me laugh so hard. I love it.
Screw all of you. I hate you guys. Ending the live stream
And
now.
then he said something about, and when we were making fun of you about like the 4-year-old girl, he's like, really, that's just you, like getting advice for yourself. Oh,
You guys suck.
That's hilarious.
Good.
Bye.